Today, we are going to learn elementary row transformation. This elementary row transformation is quite useful while finding out rank of the matrix and the inverse of the matrix. In this matrix, this first line is called as a first row, and the numbers written in the second line called second row, denoted by R2, and the numbers written in the third line called third row. It is a matrix. So there are the three rows, R1, R2 and R3. Whenever we are dealing with matrices, we have to do row transformation. So what exactly the row transformation? Here are the three rows are there. Suppose first type, I am going to tell you the first very popular and usually applied. Here is a double head arrow is written and R2. What is the meaning of this double head arrow and R1 and R2? Meaning is interchanging first row and second row. So now suppose we interchange R1 and R2, then what it will there? In place of R1, you write down R2. So R2 is nothing but 845. So we write 845 here. And in place of R2, write down R1. R1 is 1, 2, 3. So write down 1, 2, 3 here. But R3 will remain as it is. 105 will remain as it is. So this is the meaning of interchanging R1 and R2, and interchanging of two rows is denoted by double head arrow. Suppose you are not using double head arrow, then sometime in some books it is also written like this: R1 and single head arrow, and then R2. It is having the same meaning that R1 and R2 are interchanging. R1 and R2 interchanged. The same meaning. But some books double head arrow, or in some books single head arrow also utilize. Suppose we want to do another operation. R1 tends to R1 divided by 2. What is the meaning of this one? The meaning is that the given matrix will change to R1 divided by 2, that is 1 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2 and 3 divided by 2. Every element of R1 will get divided by 2. So that is the meaning of R1 tends to R1 divided by 2. And R2 will remain the same and R3 will remain the same. Only the operation is done at R1. What is written first here? So generally the operation is done on that row. So we have written R1 tends to R1 upon 2. So operation is done at R1. And what operation we have done? R1 divided by 2. Every element of R1 will get divided by 2. So 1 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2, here is a 1, here is a 2, here is a 3. So 1 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2 and 3 divided by 2. R2 and R3 will remain the same. Suppose we write R2 tends to R2 minus R1. What is the meaning of this one? So the change will take place at R2. Change will take place at R2 and R1 will remain the same and R3 will remain the same. So implies R1 will remain the same. So 1, 2, 3 will remain the same and R3, 1, 0, 5 will remain the same. Only R2 will change. From R2 you have to subtract R1. So here is a 1, 2, 3, 8, 4, 5. This is R1 and it is R2. What is written? R2 minus R1. So 8 minus 1, that is R2 is 8. From 8 you subtract 1, that is equals to 7. And here R2 is 4. From 4 you subtract R1, that is 4 minus 2. And here is R2 is 5 and R1 is 3. So subtract 3 from 5. So here we get 2 and here also we get 2. So what is the result? 7, 2 and 2. Suppose we write R3 tends to R3 plus twice R1. What is the meaning of this one? So the change will take place at R3 and R1 and R2 will remain the same. Implies R1 will remain the same, 1, 2, 3 will remain the same, and R2 will also remain the same. They are not going to change. Only R3 will change because R3 tends to R3 plus twice R1. What is R3, sir? R3 nothing but 1, 0, 5. And what is R1? R1 nothing but 1, 2 and 3. What is it? What we have to perform? We have to perform R3 plus twice R1. So R3 here is the first. Here R3 is 1 and R1 is 1. So twice R1, 2 into 1. So result is 1 plus 2, that is equals to 3. So we'll write here 3. In second case, R3 is 0 plus twice R1, 2 into 2. So that is equals to 4. So 4 will come here. After that, here R3 is 5 plus twice R1, 2 into 3, 5 plus 6 equals to 11. So 11 will come here. Suppose somewhere if you wish to do R1 tends to minus R1, then what to do? So the R1, every element of R1 will change its symbol, which changes sign. Here is minus R1, we have to perform minus R1. So that is equals to minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Every element will change its sign only in R1, whereas the R2 and R3 will remain the same. R2 is 8, 4, 5 will remain the same, and R3 1, 0, 5 will remain the same. So this is the result of R1 tends to minus R1. In row transformation, it is also called elementary row transformation. So in row transformation, even we can use the fractional form. For example, R1 tends to R1 plus 1 upon 2 R2. This way also we can utilize. So here only R1 will change, whereas the R2 and R3 will remain the same. Implies, so here we are having R2 8, 4, 5 will remain the same, and R3 1, 0, 5 will remain the same. Only R1 will change. So what we are having R1 1, 2, 3, and what is R2? That is 8, 4, 5. So R1, what is the equation? R1 tends to R1 plus half multiplied by R2. So in first case 1 and 8, R1 is 1 and R2 is 8. So 1 upon 2, 8. So cut down. So that is equals to 1 plus 4 equals to 5. Now in second case 2 and 4. So in second case R1 is 2 and so this entire line is R1, this entire line is R2. So in second case R1 is 2 plus half multiplied by R2, R2 is 4. So that is equals to 2 plus 2 equals to 4. Now in third case R1 is 3 plus half multiplied by R2, that is 5. So that is equals to 3 plus 5 divided by 2. So that is equals to 11 divided by 2. So what are the results? 5, 4 and 11 divided by 2. So this is what the result of operation R1 tends to R1 plus half R2.